Hey everyone, so this is Catfish, Season 6, Episode, not 13, 18, called Nicole and Nicole. So, as you guys saw in the preview, last week, it's about a woman who is trying to figure out, trying to confront and confront who is using fake profiles of her. So, in the initial email, we find out this woman named Nicole is 25 years old and lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. For the past 9, almost 10 years, her identity has been used to catfish others repeatedly. We find out she had joined MySpace when she was 16 and had started using it all the time. And she had thousands of followers or friends on there, and soon found out that a bunch of people were contacting her about the fake profiles and claiming that she was fake as well, and saying that she was also in fact a catfish. So we also find out that these people would say that they were in relationships with her, and she would just up and disappear. So then she joined Facebook, and then all of a sudden it would, affect her personal life. Meaning an ex-girlfriend of hers broke up with her because of it. She found dozens of, maybe not dozens, but she found quite a few fake profiles on Facebook. But this time, they were using her real name as well. So Nev and Max then call her on Skype, and we find out that the reason why her and her ex had broken up was because of the fact that her ex found these fake profiles and assumed that she was making them, that the real Nicole was making them. So nothing else really comes out of talking to her on Skype. So nothing more pertinent. So they then go make the way to Salt Lake City and then to her house. So they find out that she is rooming with one of her best friends named Tyson, and they've been best friends for the last 9 years. So he's had a up close view of everything that's been going on with this, and seen firsthand what this has done to her life and everything. So she tells us that, or when I say us, I mean Nev and Max and the whole audience, that one time during Gay Pride, at least I think that's what she said was during Gay Pride, she had this guy come up to her and grab her arm quite aggressively in broad daylight, claiming that he had been in a relationship with her, and then all of a sudden she just up and disappeared. So you also find out that Nicole used to be this really outgoing and I guess you could say a bubbly person. I don't know if that really describes her compared to her look, but she used to be this really outgoing person before all this started going on, and then now she's become much more reserved and not able to be who she wants to be. She found apparently a profile a few months ago that was using photos of her when she was 16, and when she confronted this person, she was immediately blocked. They then lead to figure out who's behind the profile. Apparently, something else in this episode is that Max brought 2 hosts from the version of Catfish that's in Brazil. apparently they're either are on their second season or going to start the second season soon. Apparently. And I think the only reason why he even brought them on was because his wife is Brazilian, I think. At least as far as I remember, that's what I heard, was that his wife is from Brazil and all that. So, I think that's the only reason why he brought them on, to be honest. Uh, I mean, because there really wasn't any reason to bring them on in the first place. I'm sorry, but well, other than maybe they're trying to get, you know, more views on um, their uh, show. I don't know, but anyway. So Neve tells these two other hosts this other version of Catfish this story. And then look at the profile that Nicole confronted, and they see it's been posting pictures since 2009. So about 8 years has been active. Um, They also find on the profile that the person wrote that they studied nursing in Cleveland, Ohio. That most of the friends on that profile are either were associated with Cleveland or are in Cleveland. A lot of the bands this fake profile liked are in Cleveland as well. So they then send a couple people messages who live in Cleveland, and then they decide to start showing the pictures from the fake profile, and they come up with some hits. One of them is a website where most or all of the photos that were at least on MySpace are on that profile. So it's looking like people, if someone wants to make a fake profile, they can. Like, many people can just make a fake profile if they want to, based off of those pictures alone. They then get a call from Sean, who they sent a message to, and Nicole, apparently, this fake Nicole, contacted him because she wanted to know about concert tickets that his band was playing at, like this place where his band was playing at. And when they were supposed to meet, he was left waiting for 45 minutes, and she never showed up. He tried to contact afterwards, but she never replied back either. Neve then tells him what the profile he was talking to, is not the real person. They then part ways with the phone call and the other hosts to go tell Nicole what they found, and in the car on the way to her house, they get a call from this guy named Ryan. 10 years ago, he and this Nicole person started dating online, and eventually became this on and off, on again, off again thing before they started dating again about a year or two ago, with a new number this Nicole had. They tried to meet up, but she's been difficult to meet up with. Not that surprising. Excuse me. They then ask if it would be alright for them to come to Cleveland. If they come to Cleveland, if he would be alright with that, and he's like, yeah, sure. And he said he agrees to meet up with them once they get there. But they don't tell him on the phone that the Nicole he's talking to is not the real Nicole. They don't tell him that. They decide to wait to do that because it honestly would be better to hear that face to face rather than on the phone call. Because as far as he's concerned, he's in this romantic relationship with this person. It's different than with this Sean guy, because he was only gonna do like a business transaction with this person, not maybe not so much different. I mean, it'd still be bad as far as like business transactions go, because if she didn't pay him, then what? But anyway, So they get to Nicole's house after they hang up with Ryan and tell her everything they found. They then decide to make their way to Cleveland. And the next day, meet up with Ryan. Nev and Max only meet up with Ryan in the hotel restaurant. They drop the bombshell that he isn't talking to the real Nicole, and that the real Nicole isn't even into guys. She's gay. So Nev goes upstairs and brings her back down to meet Ryan. They talk for like a few minutes, and then they decide to text the fake Nicole. So Nev sent a text from Ryan's phone saying, as Ryan, Nev and Max got in touch with me, and I now know that you aren't the real Nicole. They may have said something else, but I don't think they said, and so they just wait for her to reply back, and as they do wait, they wonder if someone had this huge crush on him, or if it's someone he knows. They get a text back, I assume like 5 or 10 minutes later, to meet the fake Nicole that afternoon at a local park. So all four of them jump in the car, make their way to the park, and I guess sometime no more than like 20 minutes later, this girl walks up, and her name is Erica with an A. Just wanted to point that out because that's what they put on the screen. So, Nicole knows her as far as strictly online goes. She and this Erica person connected on Facebook a couple, I guess either a few months or a couple years back or whatever. And apparently she dated Ryan back in high school for like 3 weeks. And apparently her mother wasn't having all this dating and boys and all that stuff back then. So I guess they had to end it, whatever. So then, Erica's like, well, I'm sorry, and yada yada. I felt bad and all that stuff, and really didn't sound sincere. So they leave for the day and then come back. And the next day, Nev and Max talk to Nicole, and she's like, well, Erica didn't seem genuine, and when she apologized and she talks about how it was so messed up for her to use her name and her pictures to say the things she said online, then pretend to be her friend. So she wants to be able to say that to her. So they go back. They go meet Eric at her house with Ryan. And Erica explains, well, when she came out as bisexual, people didn't accept her and all that. And Nicole's like, well, that sounds like a bunch of BS, because you went online and harassed people for what you went through as a teenager, and now I'm being harassed for what not only you have done, but what other people have done, because other people were obviously making fake profiles of me, not just you. And and now my reputation and name has been ruined because of what you and everyone else have been doing. And Ryan's like, well, just because you've been going through some shit doesn't mean that you can then in turn inflict pain back onto other people. And mess up other people's lives because of it. So, she claims that she had deactivated the Nicole account the day before, after they had left. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, just because she says it so doesn't mean it actually is so. 2 months later, Nicole has started to become more outgoing again, since she was at least able to confront one person who's been using her pictures. Ryan, they don't talk to Ryan, but at least not on Skype. But they got in contact with him, and he's not really doing any dating online anymore, even though he's looking for love still. But they do talk to Erica, and she claims she doesn't use the Nicole profile anymore. Claims to. Now, this to me was one of the most lackluster episodes I've ever watched this entire season. Mainly because of the fact that in the preview for this episode last week, they made it sound like it was someone who was very, 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 very close to her who was doing this, like, who was, like, her best friend who was doing this shit to her. And so I assumed it was Tyson who was doing it to her. I assumed it was Tyson, because she said he wasn't as her best friend, and has been for, like, the last 9 years, mainly because of how everything's been going, how everything's been handled over the last 10 years. So he's kind of become her only friend. So I assumed when they when they made it sound like it was someone who was seriously close to her, that it was Tyson. It didn't really sound like it was someone who just happened to be who was only an internet friend. They didn't portray Erica and Nicole's relationship as one that had a very close bond. So not like her and Tyson's. So it seemed very lackluster in that part. I felt the anger when Nicole finally spoke her mind. It's the day after they initially met Erica, but I didn't get the feeling that they were very close friends. So, and that's what it sounded like in the preview for this episode last week, was that it was a very close friend who was doing this to her. So, again, it just seemed very lackluster as far as episodes go, at least this season. I really wasn't, like, all that shocked about anything. I wasn't all that stunned. I wasn't all that angry. None of that this episode. So, next week though, apparently, a person writes in concerned about a friend who has apparently been catfished before, who was helped by Nev and Max as well on one of the previous seasons. Which season it is, we don't know, because they didn't show who the person was. But this person who's being catfished again is their friend writes in for them to Nev and Max, and so it'd be, I have a feeling it's one of the early seasons, like season 1 or 2. Like it's one of those seasons, like a person from one of those seasons. In my opinion, I think, because if it was someone more recent, they would have showed that, because because earlier in this season we had what's his name? Can't remember his name. The dude who catfished that guy in the season finale of season 5. That dude who catfished Andrew. Can't remember his name. Jonathan. They showed Jonathan as someone who even though he was the person who was catfishing the first time, they showed him because he's the one being catfished, that he was being catfished this time around. So they showed him, but when it came to when it came to the promo for his episode, so I'm assuming it's someone from like season 1 or 2, maybe season 3, but I don't really think it's season 4 or 5 that this person is from. So and I will actually make a prediction. I think the person who's catfishing this girl again, or this girl who's being catfished again, is being catfished by, I think, I'm gonna assume the same person that catfished her the first time. So I'm gonna make that prediction, because otherwise, why not show her face again, or either that, or it's her best friend who's catfishing her. Because we've had the episode where someone was being catfished, and it turned out it was her best friend who was doing that, because the best friend saw what her friend had gone through with the deaths, I think the deaths in her family, and so she made this fake profile to cheer her up and all that. So this is a long ass video, longer than usual. So I'm gonna end it right here. Thank God that these episodes are coming back on now. I don't know how many more are left. I assume, since this is like technically the 18th episode, because they had 2 or 3 filler episodes that that they'll have at least 2 more, maybe definitely 1 more, since there's one next week. But I'm thinking there's going to be at least another 2 episodes for the season, at least. I assume so. I don't know for sure, but they might have another 2 as far as actual catfishing episodes go. So we'll see though. And that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful, what's the day? I don't even know what day it is. Thursday. I hope you have a good Thursday. And I hope you guys also have a wonderful weekend. And don't do anything too stupid. Just have fun, be safe, and just enjoy yourself. I will see you guys next week.